Hello, all my awesome viewers. Today we're gonna talk about price. On this channel, we don't talk much about price. We talk more about technicals and what's going on in the space. But today I decided to make another video about price, especially price cycle top. This is a very important indicator, especially on bull run. You want to make sure you know where you are on the bull run, and we're gonna look other indicator like the RSI. This is another very important indicator as well. We're gonna look at that, and we're gonna check the stock to flow. A lot of people think stock to flow is dead. Um, they don't really pay attention much to it anymore, but I still consider it as a valid option on the market. If you look at the stock to flow um, tracker right there, you see. So if we go back to April 2024, you're gonna see that it touches the blue line, right? The line, the tracker. So yes, in the bear market, we obviously went way down, right? Than we should have gone. Um, See, so it wasn't even close, right, to the stock to flow that it was supposed to be. So see, the stock to flow was all the way around 65, and you see the price was down 19,000. So that's really a big gap of a change, and that made a lot of people mad and they ignored the stock to flow. But today we're gonna look at it again and see if we can use it, if it's any good for us for the future. So, and we're gonna look at the Mayer multiple. That's a very good indicator as well. Why I pay attention to this is because it's pretty reliable. And if you look, for example, the Mayer multiple, it's since Bitcoin existence, the price since Bitcoin started trading, the Mayer multiple, the index is around 1.31, right? So at 1.31, so if you could see if the market is too overheated or if the market is less overheated. So you will see if we are in the top or if we are like going like to go in a bear market. So you're not gonna know exactly what's going to happen, but you have an idea where you are. So for example, let's take like the a previous bull run, for example. If you look at our year, if you look close, you're gonna see we hit the Mia multiple at 2.6, even closer to that, maybe 2.7, 2.8 at around 2021, January 2021, and then in February we was around 2.73, right? So by the time and then there was a crash, obviously, right? The first crash happened, and we had we went all the way to 0.69, right? You see the first stop, then we go down. That's when the Mia multiple went all the way to 0.69. That was a big signal something was going on, and then we went all the way back up, right? So that was a fake out when it went all the way back up to 1.4, right? And the market start to be excited again, and then that's when we really make the massive drop to the bear market. So right here, where we are right now, so we, as you know, we since the bear market, been going up massively since 2022. It was the bull run like started like way early, right? Around like since I think the last drop, right, and the bottom, right, in 2022, um, and then since then we've been like in a uptrend. I'm gonna show you this in the chart, and then we went all the way to the level, a sustainable level that was on the average, say, of the index, like 1.3, 1.39, and then went up and down and went all the way up, right? For the all the year of 2023, we've been going up, right, massively, and then 2024, like we was dropping up and down. On January, right, 2024, you see the the announcement of the ETF, right? So all the excitement, we were all the way up to 1.7, and then now we are after that because of the chopping moves. Let me show you this on the chart. Um, if I can see all this period on here. So when we was chopping all around, right, and in 2024, so was just dropping around 73, 73, 58, right? It was a 58 gang on Twitter. So it was all around this, and then because of this, you see the mere multiple, right, was going down in this period, right? And then now we started again the uptrend, right, during the election cycle, and then we started that uptrend when Trump get elected and all that. Still not in unsustainable uh, area yet, right? Because we are still in close to the average, right? So the unsustainable level will be the green line of a year. So that would be around 2.6, 2.7. That was the top of the bull run last cycle. And if you look back, you see every bull run we passed that green line, right? Green line, we passed it there, we passed it there. That was in 2017, and then that was I think 2019, right? Um, and then we passed it there in 2021. So we're still not even there yet, right? So still sustainable, still a long way to go. Well, before going further, I want to go to Pi Cycle Talk because I think it's a very important indicator of where we are in the bone. A lot of people look into this, and it becomes kind of a fulfilling prophecy. So, why it's important? The promise of this chart of the Pi Cycle Top is they just take the 350-day moving average, right? So the purple line is a 350-day moving average and multiply it by two, and then the blue line, the light blue line is like 110, 111-day moving average. So basically, they take the factor of this and then they find the price pretty much move in between. So if the price get off the rail and start skyrocketing to unsustainable levels, like when you have all this massive frenzy, panic of buying, FOMO, all these periods, um, they need to when they happen, they need to be a correction, a healthy correction. It needs to happen because most of this frenzy FOMO is because of a lot of people who don't even understand. They don't really watch my channel. They don't listen to uh, podcasts. They don't watch like video to educate themselves. They just buy in to the FOMO, and then once they do, and then there's panic. Like let's say Fed is raising rate or Fed is stopping, and there's panic in the market, like economic Armageddon. Right? They hear that and they, okay, we're gonna sell because there's gonna be crash. Bitcoin gonna crash and it's gonna be dead in the water. We have to get out of the market, and then that's what happened here. And then in the bottom here, so that's when people who don't understand Bitcoin buy. So this chart basically is saying once the blue line start to surpass the purple line, which is a factor of uh, 5 to 6, eh? A factor of 5 to 6. It's once it start passing this purple line, that's when you are in unsustainable level. So you're doing like 10 to 20 x's, like on this level, 5 to 10x, right? The price that should be, then you like you start to be in a very cautious, like very panic areas, that's kind of like peak market frenzy. And at these periods, a lot of people was holding Bitcoin back in 2015, 2016, 17. Those people feel like, hey, I'm so rich now, so I can afford this house, I can afford this car, right? They want to sell, right? Because they they think maybe there will be a crash, or maybe something may happen, right? They don't want to wait for another 4 year cycle holding their bag, waiting for a price to go up. Say, okay, hey, I'm gonna sell here, right? So I don't trust this market anymore. I think I'm gonna sell, and then buy in the bottom, right? So that's what happened, and they sell because of this indicator. Not necessarily because of this indicator, but because a lot of people, find it like too hyper, right? So that's the danger zone, and then the market, the cycle repeat, right? When you have the blue line go all the way down, and then you have a sustainable market. So this is basically where we are right now, right? So we had the same thing back in 2020 bull run, 2021 bull run. You have this blue line always stay a normal pace. It was moving nicely there, and then the frenzy happened. That was the banana zone, like a lot of people call it. So when the blue line start to move all the way up, and then it went to a period when it touches the purple line or passes it, that's when the frenzy period, right? Start to You want to be like very very careful in these times, because at this moment the factor, the multiplier effect is so large that so many people want to sell. So when those people want to sell, and there's at any panic in the market, you will have a massive amount of Bitcoin available on exchanges. And not only, and it's also, again, the price of Bitcoin is not necessarily depend on how many Bitcoin are available on exchanges. I'm going to show you this. So a lot of people think it's just the amount of Bitcoin. No, it's mostly depend on the fear on the market, right? So for example, if you look back here at the beginning of the year, the amount of Bitcoin exchanges was about 2.62 Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin was about, let's say, 43, 44,000, right? Right now, the amount of Bitcoin, let's see, I think we we took out around 4 to 500,000 Bitcoin off exchanges, right? In during the year, and and you see the price only go up. The price goes up quite a bit, right? Since the beginning of the year, I think it's over 130, 130 to 100, 120, about 120% in the year because of this crash. It's, like the dip we are experiencing right now, which I think is not gonna last long because it's gonna, get bought up and then we start again. That's my opinion. But right here, if you look back in this chart, I can't find the full chart here, but you'll see like this amount of Bitcoin on the exchanges, right? And over here, when we was there, right, this was pretty much same amount on exchanges, and the price of Bitcoin back in 2021 was was about 69,000, and we had even slightly less, say about the same amount of Bitcoin on exchanges, and the price was not going up, was not up that much, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that the amount of Bitcoin exchanges do not necessarily indicate the price, but over the long term, it will reality will set in, and then that's when people will realize there's not enough Bitcoin on exchanges. If you want to buy, you have to buy what you need now, So don't wait later because you may not find it for the price you want, right? You will always find enough Bitcoin on exchange. You will always have Satoshis on exchanges because there's a price, then the price will go up and it will you will just kind of have to buy it in a higher price, right? So back to what I was saying over here is that when the Bitcoin price, right, when there's a panic, right, people will just sell. They don't care about how much Bitcoin on exchanges. They're just gonna sell because there's a panic, right? People are gonna say, okay, I will be able to buy later, right? So that's what happened 2021. Now we're back at it again. Started with Pete, the cycle with Pete. If you look back down 2022, we started and you see the big gap between the blue and the purple line. Now we just slightly, right, slightly in the one that happened 2023, 2024, right? So slightly going like close to it, and then we went all this, settle period dropping during the 2024 half of 2024, and then now we're starting to move up again, right? So this move up, right? So if we we were to happen to go all the way up, let's say to touch uh, the let's say 100, let's say if we were to go all the way to 300, 400,000, that's when you will start to feel the effect of the price cycle top, right? You're gonna start feeling like something is saying out there, like people will start like selling, right? The big whale, right? The smart money will start selling. And again, I'm not saying a lot of people are hard, like strong believers on Bitcoin, they'll never sell. And there is no reason to sell, especially if you know you're gonna pay taxes and your capital gain tax and all that. Um, but some other people they don't care. They're just gonna sell. They're just gonna get out. They want to buy a nice car, a nice house, or they want to change their life. And I don't blame them for that. I mean, it's a free market. If you want to buy, you want to sell, that's up to you, right? So it's all up to you. So a lot of people may not want to wait. They don't have that much time to wait for another 4 year cycle to happen so they can profit. So, anyways, um, this is for that, and the RSI. So that's basically risk indicator, just indicating like what's the strength on the market, the relative strength index. So over here we pretty much we're not in the frenzy zone yet, right? So we was going up, right, after the election. Right now I think the next month we're gonna have a dot going down a little bit before we start like seeing the big dots going like pretty crazy green dot to the upside. So we're still around the middle right now, the median. I think, yeah. So we're still in the around in the middle area right now. So next, we have the uh, this is the stock to flow I started talking about in the beginning of the video. So what this chart is indicating is just based on um, the Bitcoin halving. Sorry, Bitcoin halving is what happened every 4 years. The amount of Bitcoin coming on circulation get cut in half, and because of this, there's the market dynamic changes, right? Because if miners have to, for example, get a certain amount of Bitcoin every, for example, this block, the last block of transaction, the miners got the miner who mined this block got about 306,000, right? 200,000 dollars. So in the next in 2028 when the halving happen, the uh, the block subsidy or the reward the miner gonna get, it's gonna get cut in half in on Bitcoin term, right? Minus transaction fees, but plus the transaction fee, they will get the transaction fee at the time, but it will have to be less, like half that for reward. So at 1.5 or 1.6, 1.5 something, um, the miners, right, will need more money to be sustainable, right? So this $300,000 at least has to be double, right, in the next 4 years. But not only that, the hash rate, right, is doubling. Right? It's doubling every 2 years. So the hash rate is going up. So that means the amount of miners coming online is going like crazy, high as well. It's not just the price, but you have the miners going up. So the network, the energy coming on the network is intense. There's more and more miners coming online. When I say miners, I'm talking about machines, right? The individual computers or ASICs, the individual ASICs coming online are doubling uh, two to every 2 to 3 years. So if this double, if even if the amount of energy expenses go on the network is going up, let's say 2.5 times that in the next, let's say 4 years, in the next 2 years, if it goes 2.5 times. So this amount of money, the $300,000 the miner is getting right now per block, has to be at least two two point 2.5 times more, right? At the time, it has to be 2.5 times more in dollar term, and then because of the halving, when the and Bitcoin term is cutting in half, so you have to double again. So you have to be 5 times more in the next 5 years. So because of that, right? So this is where the stock to flow comes in, and this is why I think this model is still valid. You see here back, if you look closely, that's March 2024 when the stock to flow reviving, return to life. Right? So it come touching the blue line here again, and then now it goes all the in the first half of the year when it stays all the way down here, right? And it didn't track the line at all. Now it's starting to move, right, towards the line, and at any time, right, in the next, let's say 6 to 12 months, if it goes above 200,000, or let's if it goes above 200 to 300,000, it's easy to go to 400,000, right? So if Bitcoin goes to 3 to 400,000, the model is still valid, right? It's just like there's a deviation on the model, right? But again, all models on Bitcoin breaks at the same time after a certain amount of time. This model is predicting, for example, in 2028, I believe we will be around 600,000. And one thing people are not um, listening, are not watching closely, I think most people don't talk about. It's like a lot of people say, when Bitcoin gonna be at $1 million, right? So Bitcoin touch $1 million on this, based on this model. That will be around 2028, I think. Let's check that again. So that would be around 2028, right? So 2028, right? 2028, okay. So around 2028, I think. So that would be August 2028. But the next million, right? The next million, Bitcoin hit the next million, right? The double will happen. So remember having on 2028, and we touched 1 million, right? And then the next million will be in 2029 in January. So and in 6 months, right? So imagine Bitcoin would take 28 years, right? About 20, 28, 20, 27 years to get to 1 million, and then the next million happens in 6 months, right? So it takes 28, right? This is exponential function, right? Most people are not understanding. It's like it takes like the first million takes forever. Right? The next million is so easy, it takes just 6 months. But when you get there to 2 million, and then the next million, right? The next million, right? To get to to get to 3 millions, you only take 1 month, right? And then the next million after that, it just only take 4 months, right? So you get to 5 to 6 million pretty quick. So that's why I'm gonna leave it there, guys. It's just like all these little like price moves along the way. It's just like it's gonna be joke when you look back, right? It's just gonna be like so crazy. People is like so freaking out over this, right? So the idea is to just take a long term view of Bitcoin and then study, right? How to protect your coins and your sats, and make sure you're safe, right? Make sure you protect your health, work on your health, your your life, right? Like make sure you're healthy, make sure you can live long enough for those times, right? That's all that matters. It's like even if you have so many Bitcoin, if you don't have health, if you don't have like, if you if you're not healthy, right? If you're dead, you're dead, right? There's no way you can enjoy those Bitcoin. So, anyways, I think that's the ultimate thing is life, right? Everybody wanna be healthy. You need to be healthy to live those, and you have to lower your time preference. Lower time preference mean like extend your time horizon, right? Instead of 2 years, instead of 2 years, put it to 4 or 5 years or 10 years, right? That's when you're gonna have the gain, because most of the gains will happen like you go from like from 1 million to 2 million in 6 months, and then the next million goes in the next month. So that's kind of things like most people are not understanding. They're not thinking about, because most people can't think in exponential term. Right? Us human, we don't. You're not built to think exponentially. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. I put a lot into this. If you like, please comment, subscribe, and please, if you like this, just write down the comment below, comment section, like, just click, put like, and then I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you for watching. This was Bike Over.